Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today, it's going to be a match between Reynor and ShoWTimE here on Nightshade, the latter edition from Katowice, the group stages. I think it was Group B. Top left-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player. He is Reynor, and he is Italian. And in the bottom right-hand corner, it is the blue Protoss player, ShoWTimE. He is German, two of the best foreigner players in the world right now. Just two guys that I love to cast. Reynor's one of my favorite Zergs. ShoWTimE has always been an incredibly solid, incredibly good Protoss player. He just very rarely loses simply because he makes a big mistake, right? Like, there are those players, you watch them lose games, it's like, oh, they got supply block there for 30 seconds, or, oh, they made the wrong unit, they didn't quite scout what the opponent was doing. It seems like ShoWTimE always knows what to do and always makes the right choices. But yeah, it's never a big thing that causes him to lose, and I appreciate that about him. And now I probably jinxed him. He might lose this game because, like, he doesn't see a Nidus coming up in his main. I don't know, man. I haven't seen this game in person live. Let's get right on into this and see what we've got. Probe scouting around 16, 18, 17 from Reynor. This is the build Zerg players are going to go with until the sun burns out, man. It really feels that way. It has been around for a while now. It's extremely good. It's extremely economical and fairly safe at the same time, and your Overlord scouting can prepare you for proxies and big-time attacks that might come your way early. And there's no reason for Zerg players to really do anything else here unless they're planning on being aggressive and they want a proxy hatch or go for a pool first because they're really worried about like a proxy barrack style play coming out of a Terran player. But as it stands, man, 16, 18, 17 is as standard as you're gonna get. I mean, sure, what was it? God, what was the build? What was the build in Wings of Liberty? There was a time in Wings of Liberty when Zerg players didn't know they could go hatch first versus Terran. They were extremely worried to do so, and then somebody was like, no, check this out. Here's our timing. I think it was 15, 14, 13. If I remember right, 15, 14, 13, you started out with fewer workers, so the timings were different compared to today in Legacy of the Void, but still, that was the concept. And that's what it's really been versus Terran since all time there. Protoss, Zerg players figured out they could go hatch first against. Later than that, for sure. I believe it was Legacy of the Void. They really started feeling safe doing that. Anyway, handful of Lings are out. Do we have an Adept we need to worry about in here from ShoWTimE? Indeed we do. Another Adept is coming in. His natural base is warping into, and got ourselves a Stargate opening out of ShoWTimE. No real big surprises there. Faux show. Third base on the way from Reynor at about 2:30, as we should expect from him. Adept coming in, and the Lings are home. The Lings are home. The Queens are out. The creep is spreading as Reynor intends it to. There's no way the Adept can kill that tumor because it's invisible now. Warp gate on the way from ShoWTimE. Really just double pumping probes as fast as he can, because that's how you're going to beat a Zerg player, is by out-economying him. Now, does the Adept want to get... I kind of feel like the Adept could have gotten that creep tumor if she wanted to, especially if there are two Adepts. Oh, hold on. One of these, that tumor's dead. I think that tumor's dead. No, yes, okay. Well, we're going to cruise on in and try. Ah, he doesn't get the scout. He sees a bunch of Lings, which is some decent information, but he wanted to see if there was a lair. He wanted to see if there was a Roach Warren. He wanted to see if there was second gas. There's none of those things at the moment, so he doesn't need to worry about it, but still, you got to keep your eye on a Zerg player to see what they're up to at all times. This is a third base. Are you seriously going for a third at 3:30? All right, man. ShoWTimE feels like he needs a third base at 3:30. Got ourselves an Oracle on the way, and another one already out. So we'll name this one Fatty TV. Fatty spent his life defending the law, and now he's going to enforce it. Fatty popped himself into an Oracle and took off to plant stasis traps around the sector. Some people question whether Fatty's methods are contrary to the law. He spent so much time defending, and Fatty just smirks and says, I am the law. I like it. I like it a lot. Fatty is another streamer. He is a fantastic guy. He's a handsome fellow, and he's Protoss. And he actually plays all three races, but mostly he plays Protoss. But check him out, twitch.tv/FattyTV. I'll put a link in the description if you want to check him out. He's out there several nights a week, doing team games, doing 1v1s, doing all sorts of shenanigans. If you're looking for a good Protoss player to follow, he is someone you want to check out. So Speedling's cruising around, maybe trying to see if they can take down the third base, but if there's two Oracles out... Yeah, those Lings could have taken down those Adepts. They would have tried anyway. But the Oracles really tipped the scales in Protoss' favor right there. So I kind of like the double Oracle. 3 Oracles! Now we're getting aggressive. 2 Oracles is like, alright, we're going to get a Spore and a Queen and maybe another Queen here, maybe another Spore. But 3 Oracles is like, okay, your Queen is dead. Creep spread is really helping versus these Adepts, though, giving the vision that you need. But then this third base is up. We got Adepts cruising into the third base of Reynor. And I don't know, man. There are no queens here. The Zerglings are trying to do what they can. They're going to get 1 or 2 of these Adepts. And actually, all of them will end up going down. 3 queens at the natural base to shove off the Oracles. And Reynor's able to hold this pretty effectively. That Adept is well placed, and she's going to die with 6 kills, which is not bad. That is some pretty effective killing there from her. So queen count is getting up there. Oracles are trying to... There we go. 1 drone down. Income is definitely favoring ShoWTimE. He's on 3 bases to the 3 bases of Reynor. You can see this here. He has a bigger worker count. These Lings are trying to make stuff happen, but it's just not... ShoWTimE is just absolutely rebuffing every attempt these Zerglings make to get anything done, and Reynor needs a 4th now. He needs this 4th, or he needs this 4th. He needs to make a choice. He can't do much of anything here with just Lings. He's just now getting a Roach Warren. So if this is some kind of a crazy like Roachling All-in, he's way, way too late for that. He keeps losing drones. The Lings are just getting absolutely shut down by these force fields and this Oracle combination. 5 kills there for Fatty TV, the Oracle. Not bad. Not bad here from ShoWTimE, I gotta say. I'm not sure what Reynor was going for there exactly. I mean, I don't know that you can kill ShoWTimE's third base with just Lings. I don't know if it's possible, is what I'm trying to say here. He's going to have sentries, he's going to have cannons and shield batteries, he's going to have oracles flying around. But the fact that Reynor doesn't have a 4th yet is extremely, all-poweringly just concerning to me. Utterly concerning to me here. I like he's getting a Baneling Nest. I like he has a Roach Warren. I'd really like that he's getting centrifugal hooks. I like that he's planning on getting centrifugal hooks. That hasn't happened yet at all. ShoWTimE's got an attack coming. He's got sentries. He's got an immortal. He's got the oracles. Queens in the front here, really important. Those Lings, though, man. Yeah, so they took down a Stalker just because Zerglings are so good against Stalkers in every possible way. Nice force fields. This immortal, though. Baba, kaba, hitting those roaches, forcing the Queens to use their transfuse on those roaches, and then they just turn them into Ravagers anyway. So, hey, it's cool. Overseer sees what we're dealing with, sees the Templar Archives coming in, sees the fact that we're getting charge in production, which makes sense. There's really no reason to not have charge. And yeah, Reynor's got a 4th base now. It's just, it's not saturated. This game's been recovered from a replay. Like something died right there when this was originally played. Amazing. Oh, another news. Let's see. I'm casting this on the 18th of March. You may have heard about the 5.7 magnitude earthquake that hit Utah back on March 18th. It's really fantastic stuff, man. We're quarantined because of the coronavirus, and then an earthquake hits us, which is the 3rd biggest earthquake in the continental United States in the last year. The first 2 are both in Red Ridge, California, because California, man, they like their earthquakes a lot. And it's funny because you're like, oh, we got a 5.7 magnitude earthquake. It was crazy. In California, you're like, I won't even get out of bed for one of those, which is fair. I get it, California. I do. Other parts of the world, too. Peru, especially, is a hotbed for that stuff. Hawaii gets a ton of earthquakes. But for us Utahns, especially considering the fact that us Utahns have been told there's a big one coming, that we've been due for one for like 800 years geologically. We're on a humongous fault line running all up and down the population center here. So, you know, an earthquake starts shaking for a few seconds. It runs for 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and you're thinking, is this it? Is this the big one? And it wasn't, but it just makes you, reminds you the big one is coming. All right, so Reynor, 12 o'clock position. And I guess to answer your questions, we're fine. Everything's fine here. A couple of pictures fell off the wall. Did break the frame of one of the photos, unfortunately, but I mean, that's the severity of the damage that we had. The home, I mean, was built in 2006. So, I mean, it was built up to all of the earthquake codes for houses built in this part of the state, obviously, and of the country. But yeah, I was about 15 miles from the epicenter of that earthquake, and it was exciting. One of the more exciting things that's happened. We've had over 80 aftershocks since then. I'm casting this about 12 hours after the initial earthquake. It's weird. I'm almost getting used to them, but still, just unsettling is what they are. All right, stuff's happening here. Sorry, Falcon is travel logging here. Yeah, so Reynor manages to take a couple of bases. He's doing fine. All of a sudden, he's maxed out. ShoWTimE is not. We got a Baneling dropping in the natural base, killing 8 probes. Could have been a lot worse. ShoWTimE's pull was okay, if not super ideal. And Zealots trying to make stuff happen up here to the 12 o'clock base, but no. Lings and Banelings absolutely shut that down. So now it is Reynor's turn to play defensive and get rid of all that stuff. He's got a Spire. He's going for Broodlords. Let's see. Hive timing at 9 minutes. got a Warp Prism moving out, but yeah, I can't imagine that Reynor missed seeing that, and he did, in fact, end up seeing it, too. So, Spines and Spores coming up at that 5th base. The 4th base is looking happy. Ton of Banelings on the way. I mean, this Overseer's been here for maybe... Feels like it's been here for the last 5 minutes, which is hilarious. But yeah, looks like we're setting up for a macro-style game here. Both players pretty happily, you know, ShoWTimE's on 4 bases, Reynor's on 5 bases. Traditionally, this makes a lot of sense. It is, in fact, a Greater Spire upgrade out of Reynor. Let's see what he gets done. Let's see what he does with these Broodlords, because it can be a little bit hard to make things happen now that Infested Terrans are gone, especially. You are going to want those Infestors, though. You're going to want those Vipers, but is he doing this without Spellcasters is my question. And really, for everybody who says that Zerg is overpowered, generally it's been Spellcaster play that makes them look overpowered, right? It's been Vipers with Abduct, it's been Infestors with Infested Terrans especially, and Fungals that help with that too. Nice Revelation toss down. And yeah, ShoWTimE knows he needs to put some pressure on Reynor before the Broodlords come out. Because once the Broodlords are out, the Immortals aren't going to be as good as they otherwise would be. He's on a bit of a clock at the moment. He's actually getting a Mothership, which I am extremely happy about. Having a Mothership here is going to help a lot against the Zerg player. Really frustrating to play against. You have to make a bunch of Overseers, which, you know, just it's a bunch of gas. It's not free to have that number of Overseers running around. Zealots in their Brood War skin, coming up the left side, trying to see if there's a base there. There's not one, but there is planned to be one, and that's not going to happen anymore because whop. Yeah, that happened. Zealots actually going to get a Queen here as well with their +2 attack, and then subsequently get obliterated. Hey, so I turned the volume output down on my microphone by about 5, because I feel like for some reason recently in my cast I've been blowing out the sound a little bit, which I mean, it's been 70 for years. I don't know what the problem is. Anyway, Banelings are crashing on in here. The Storms are really, really good, but the Immortals are getting surrounded by Ravagers. Crocodiles are going down, catching an Archon, but there's still enough Protoss army here that he's able to stand when all is said and done. That was a lot of dead Banelings. The Stasis Trap's actually doing a pretty good job there helping too, because ShoWTimE is going to pull back. He doesn't like what he sees whatsoever. Did Reynor just make a bajillion Zerglings? He has 110 Zerglings. Is he going to try to do this thing now with 100 Zerglings? He certainly is going to try to do so. And maybe he will. This is so much Swarm, you guys. Like, you know what? There isn't anything of Colossus. I think the Storms might all be gone. The Oracles here that have been alive the entire game pretty much are actually doing some pretty decent damage here. And you know what? I think ShoWTimE might hold this attack. Maybe. Gosh, this Immortal, though. 33 kill Immortal. 20 kill Immortal. The Mothership! The Mothership is the savior of ShoWTimE right now. And suddenly there's no detection here for the Zerg player. And he's like, oh, I need to pull back a bit. I need to make some Overseers, quite possibly. That was an incredible hold from ShoWTimE. Reynor went for the throat, couldn't pull it off. Anyway, I knocked it down to 65. So if it sounds like I'm too quiet compared to the relative action in this replay, let me know. Maybe I'll bump it up a little bit. If you're noticing that I'm not maybe blowing out your headphones as much as I have been over the last couple weeks, let me know too. I don't know what the difference is. I'm using the same microphone, the same PC. Nothing has changed. I don't know at all what's going on unless the microphone is somehow glitching out, which it could be. I've had it for a few years now. So, Banelings cruising on in, and the Zealots sacrificing their lives for ire here. Not bad. 5 probes go down. That could have been a lot worse. ShoWTimE is still at 75 workers, which is super, super great. Reynor taking a 6th base along the left side of the map. ShoWTimE has a 5th base rolling over at about the 230 position. And you know what, Reynor? You know what you need is Neural Parasite? Yes. So he's got Infestors. He got the Pathogen Glands upgrade, which allows the Infestors to have more energy when they pop out of those eggs. That's some thrown away Banelings, friends. Income tab hugely favoring Reynor over the last 5 minutes, though. He's got some huge spikes. It's almost like he's got mules with those spikes that he's tossing down. He must be throwing down, you know, a whole bunch of drones at the same time. Attacking on in this top side. There are Broodlords here, but, you know, there's only 2 of them, with 2 more on the way, and another one joins the party, and I think ShoWTimE might need to back up here. I don't see it happening. Ling's rolling into ShoWTimE's 5th. He has to do a recall, both to save his base and to get out of a bad position. And he does manage to save it. It would have been better if he'd killed that base, though. At the 12 o'clock, Zealots are rolling into the third, or the natural base. You know, getting 8 drones and then jumping into the main base and trying to do some more stuff. But Reynor's army is largely here, which means I kind of feel like this 12 o'clock is extremely exposed. If ShoWTimE wants to jump in there, there was a window for him to get in there and take that down. I don't know if his APM was too much focused on the natural and the main base attacks. It seems like it probably was, because he's trying to do it now, but the window's closed. There's Broodlords here now. There's a bajillion Zerglings all trying to go somewhere. Is he gonna... Ah, he was gonna... Oh, like Baneling... Okay, ShoWTimE's in trouble. ShoWTimE just lost 17 probes in that attack. The Zerglings ran in and through all of that storm. So Reynor's gonna lose a base. Absolutely. There's no saving that. But 18 probes are killed. So Reynor, you know, losing a hatch is not good for you here, dude. He's got a decent bank. ShoWTimE does not have much of a bank at all, unfortunately. Army supply 125 to 98. It's close on income right this very second, but it has still been very much Reynor's show for the last 10 minutes or so. +2 flyer attack coming in. Creep spreading down this way. Overlord's trying to see so that if Zealots head up and try to wreck that base, he at least has an early advance warning. But yeah, ShoWTimE's back up to 70 probes. He's okay. Zergling's trying to roll on in. A single Zealot versus all of this. Okay, sure. I don't know about this at all. Nice blink under. Gonna take down a couple of these Broodlords, absorbing Corrosive Biles at the same time. Time Warp goes down. The Immortals are trying to kill these Ravagers as well as they can, storming the Lings that are trying to get a surround here as well. Corrosive Biles just making serious connections. Immortal down, Immortal down. Mothership survives with 6 kills. Army supply 92 to 63. Once again, Reynor going into mass Zergling play. Drones are trying to reestablish that 12 o'clock base. The attack down at the third was cleaned up eventually, and you know what? I think it is fine. 62 probes is an okay number to have right now. It's just the problem is that Reynor has a huge bank to remax on things like Infestors and Corruptors and Roaches and Zerglings and whatnot. Has he lost any Infestors here today? No, he hasn't, which is a big deal. He has... Wait, has he not actually made any Infestors? He got Neural Parasite and Pathogen Glands, and he didn't make any Infestors at all? I am flummoxed by this information. Okay. I don't know that I've ever seen that. I've never seen a Zerg player. God, this game is great, by the way. The Zerglings, though, with their 3-3... Oh, just kidding. 3-2. And their Adrenal are pretty terrifying. ShoWTimE might be able to expand up this way, possibly. Army supply is down a little bit, but again, Storm, Archons, Mothership, a couple Tempest. I don't know, man. Look at the supply. It's 192 to 154. ShoWTimE is holding on as best he can here. Trying to take that top right-hand base, but I'm not sure he's going to get it. Is what I'm trying to say. All right, top right-hand base for ShoWTimE. Oracle's, you know, Fatty TV in here, 13 kills. Ah! Or maybe the 24 kill. Is this Fatty TV? This is Fatty TV. 24 kills for Fatty TV. All right, a lot of Banelings died there. Resources lost are 34,000 for ShoWTimE and 30,000 for Reynor, which is a horrible ratio, by the way. ShoWTimE had a bit of a situation there where he had a lead in the economy, but it's back to Reynor's show. What else is going on? Ooh, so I watched all 3 seasons of Legion in about 2 weeks. Really is an amazing show. I recommend it. It's on FX. Hulu has it too. All right, Banelings, this base is dead. The good news for ShoWTimE is it's basically mined out anyway. Losing these warp gates is not good for him. And losing 8 probes isn't particularly great for him. You know, got a few Ravagers in the mix. This is a tight game. This is close. I was worried that a couple minutes ago Reynor was just going to run all over ShoWTimE, but I kind of feel like maybe his choice... Nice storm drop, though. 4 drones go down. His choice to make about 100 Zerglings after one of the attacks that he was able to hold off succeeded. That might not have been the right tech choice against ShoWTimE. You really can't kill him with Zerglings. This top right-hand base is going to die. Wait, some of them. Okay, so it's going to die. Some of the Lings are heading back to try to deal with his massive army that's on his front doorstep. So yeah, top right base for ShoWTimE is toast. The probes are running for their lives. There's no army to save this base either. All right, there are the infestors. Fungals are getting tossed down all over the place right now, but Reynor going to lose yet another hatch, but you know what ShoWTimE's going to lose is another Nexus. Hold on. We have an emergency warp-in of Zealots here, but the Lings got too early damage done onto it. You can do that early damage to things that are warping in. It's extra hits, and then they're easier to kill when all is said and done. A partial recall here from ShoWTimE. Loving that. Reynor hasn't expanded for a while. He's mining out of his bases. His bank is about what ShoWTimE's is at the moment. This is close enough. I'm feeling like it might just get an epic tag, ladies and gentlemen. I'm looking at it. We're pretty close, guys. 189 to 175 supply. The income is even Steven right now, and has been closer to even over the last couple minutes here. I mean, ShoWTimE is mining out of his bases as well. He's trying to take the 6 o'clock, which is probably his best bet at the moment. Man, these Zealot counterattacks, or just rather regular attacks, have just not been working at all. Zealots, Archons, and Reynor's army doesn't look nearly as intimidating as it was a minute ago. Where are the Banelings? Where are the Infestors? ShoWTimE's like, you know what? I can handle this back home. I'm going to push out. I mean, Broodlord's Corruptors... Okay, the Broodlord Corruptor army from Reynor, though, I don't know that ShoWTimE has an answer to it. Also, I think ShoWTimE may have overestimated his ability to hold this Roach Ravager army that is severely threatening his 230 position. This Oracle has 26 kills. This is an MVP Oracle, guys. It really is. He recalls onto the mothership, which you don't see a lot in these days. Usually it's a recall to a Nexus for base defense, but yeah, recalling onto the mothership. Fantastic move. I don't know, man. ShoWTimE got his 6 o'clock base up. Does Reynor know about this? He doesn't know about this. He's heading down to check it right now. Look at these guys making a beeline to the south. He knows. His sense, his awareness came up. Oh, he had to turn those High Templar into Archons, which means they're going to die before they finish. No! Reynor's spider sense sniffed this out as soon as it was done and vulnerable and wrecked it. ShoWTimE's down to 132 supply. He's going to lose a Nexus for sure. I mean, he could probably take out these Archons, but there's no really reason to stick around and mess with it. So, all right. Reynor has replaced his base over at the left side. Pretty good micro. I mean, still, it's just too much swarm is the problem. That might just be it for ShoWTimE. His army supply is down to 73. I mean, sure, Reynor's is only at 117, but the Broodlords are fast, man. Look at this Phoenix. I'm going to kill all you Broodlords by my lonesome. And then the Corruptors say, get out of our neighborhood. This is not a place for Protoss units at all. ShoWTimE, I just feel like he's never been able to get up his massive, big, scary Protoss army today. And part of that is he's consistently been losing probes. 68 probes have died. Sure, he's killed 30 drones on the other side, but the ratio does not make any sense at all. Zerglings, oh, it doesn't even need Banelings. Just roll, that's your good game. That was the last source of income by ShoWTimE. He's getting neural parasited all over his Archons here. Time Warp is going down just because the mothership needs something to do, but the Broodlords are too many, and that is it. Good game. Reynor ends up taking it there in 24 minutes and 5 seconds. Yeah, there's just ShoWTimE just did not have an answer for Corruptor Broodlord after all of that happened. No, he did not. Income there, highly favoring Reynor. And again, throughout this game, it's been a Reynor-favored income style game. Woo! So hit that like button if you enjoyed it, but man, that was it. Reynor he kind of sat back on his Broodlords and his Corruptors and let the rest of his army do what they needed to do and kind of peek around the edges and poke and try to find holes in the defense for the Protoss. And then when it came down to it, he had the Broodlords and the Corruptors, and ShoWTimE had a couple Tempests and really not much else. The Neural Parasite was pretty good there too. So fantastic display, man. ShoWTimE gave Reynor everything he could handle, but at the end of the day, Reynor does end up going down, or does end up winning against the German Protoss in about 24 minutes. So just good stuff, man. Anytime you've got 3 Nexuses and 2 hatcheries killed in a 20-minute match, it's pretty good stuff. It's pretty good times indeed. Yeah, I mean, Infestor's pretty good. Neural Parasite's still pretty good. ShoWTimE just couldn't protect his probes well enough. Again, 82 probes down and 62 before that final attack. It's rough. 28 Archons got killed. That is a lot of Archons. 173 Zealots. Never really got that big Zealot attack into a hatchery that he wanted to get done. Just, again, the vision by Reynor was just too much. It was just too good. So, fantastic display, and that is going to be it from me. So, this has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching. You take care of yourself.